What are the basic building blocks of this universe? Even today, modern scientists are not in the position to answer this question. Many theories are being pronounced and are being amended subsequently. Finally, scientists of particle physics, a branch of physics, are accepting the Oriental views and trying to understand the ancient Indian perception about the universe. Let us now look into the perceptual changes that happened over centuries among the so-called modern scientific community influenced by a Western outlook. Around 450 BC, preliminary atomic theory, propounded by Democritus, says that atoms are indivisible particles of matter, and around 300 BC, Aristotle had postulated that universe is made up of four elements: earth, air, water, and fire. Similarly to the already existing Oriental view, ago 17th century AD, Dalton's atomic theory. Dalton is the first person to propound atomic theory that the smallest particles of the matter are atoms, but each atom of a different element differs in size and shape from the other element. Atoms combine in definite ratio of weights to form a molecules without atoms getting broken down. Newton proposed a mechanical universe that consists of the smallest indivisible particles of a matter. According to Newton, time is absolute and unidimensional. Space is three-dimensional like length, breadth and height. Time and space are not related to each other. In 19th century AD, before 1840 AD, Michael Faraday had proved with his experiments about electromagnetism. He had explained the charge fields around the particle, both negatively charged and positively charged fields. 1895 AD, Wilhelm Röntgen discovered X-rays. In 1897 AD, J.J. Thomson discovered the negatively charged particles of an atom called electrons. In 20th century AD, 1905 AD, Albert Einstein had proposed the special theory of relativity. According to him, he had given a famous equation, E is equal to mc square, through which he had postulated that matter is the manifestation of energy. Energy and matter are interconvertible. Time and space are interrelated and are relative to each other. Light has a dual nature. Light rays are waves as well as energy particles. Scientists of the later years have found photons, that are particles of light, as predicted by Einstein. Einstein's special theory of relativity had changed the domain of the physical science. A new branch of a physical science evolved called atomic physics or a nuclear physics, or also known as particle physics and quantum physics. In 1911 to 1913, Niels Bohr and Rutherford had postulated the orbital structure of atom. Accordingly, in every atom there shall be a nucleus. Around the nucleus there shall be a negatively charged particles called electrons moving in a structured orbit. In the nucleus, there shall be positively charged particles called protons and protons charged particles called neutrons. If electrons orbit around the nucleus in a structured way, atoms remain stable. In an excited state, if electrons jump from one orbit to another orbit, they gain in strength or lose in strength, changing the structure of atom. In 1927, Werner Heisenberg proved through his theory of uncertainty, that the electron is not a particle and its structure cannot be determined easily as it continuously changes its position. The journey of the investigation of finding the fundamental building blocks of universe continued within the atom, and today we have around 200 subatomic particles. These particles are divided into two basic categories, namely quark particles and lepton particles. The quark particles are the minutest particles. They remain at the very subtle level of existence. They lose stability within no time. The very identification of these particles depends upon the perception of the observer. This means each observer sees them in a different way. In other words, quark particles exist according to the subjective perception of the observer. So, with the advent of the particle physics, the observer of the experiment is becoming the participator in the process. The universe at the subtle level is becoming completely subjective. At the subtle level within an atom, there are many interactions that are happening between these particles of the energy. The stability of atom depends upon the interactions of a various energy particles. Every interaction depends upon the charge fields that surround a particle. Four basic forces influence these charge fields and interactions. Those are gravitational force, electromagnetic force, strong nuclear force, and weak nuclear force. Unified field theory visualizes the grand unification of these forces. This has pushed physics into another domain of the study, that is finding the basic building blocks of the nature in a holistic way. Today, universe is being studied as a unified interconnected stream of energy particles. During the last years of the 20th century, a new theory came into existence called a string theory. According to string theory, quarks and leptons are not particles but vibrating strings and a loops. The whole universe is interconnected through a superstring of a vibrated string. What are the basic building blocks of the universe? Indian perception. Vedas, Upanishads, Puranas, Shaddarshans. Among the Sankhya, Vaisheka, Nyaya Darshans had postulated many theories about the universe and its atomic structure in their own perspective. In the 6th century BC, Kanada Maharshi had written Vaisheka Shastra and had postulated verses Kanada Maharshi had written Vaisheshika Shastra and had postulated verses about the structure of the universe from the atomic point of view. The words Anu and Paramanu are the Sanskrit words that are used to describe the atom and subatomic particles. Vaisheshika Darshana has 373 verses spread over 12 chapters. Vaisheshika Darshana had described the universe as the interplay of the 7 aspects or the states of material things. They are Dravyam means matter, Guna, quality, Karma, action, and Samanya, generic species. Vaishesha, unique trait. Samavya, inherence or an integrated part of the whole, and Abhava means non-existence. Drava Guna Karma, Samanya Vishesha, Samaven Padarthan. Means Dravyam, matter, is again subdivided into 9 aspects. They are Prithvi, earth, Jala, water, Teja, light, Vayu, gas, Akasha, ether, Dik, direction or a space dimension, Kala, time, Manas, mind, Atma, soul. As described by the Kanada Maharshi, the mind and Atman were also considered as the aspects of the matter. Today, modern science is also considering the perception of the mind in atomic structural analysis. Paramanus get influenced by Atma. Nityam Parimandalam. Paramanu is always in a continuous state of motion. There are 2 states of matter. One is Anushishti, means micro level state, and another is Mahatshishti, macro level state. When matter is continuously divided into subatomic particles as Paramanus, it reaches a state where in divided further, the particle loses its basic nature and identity. Ancient Indians perceived the relativity of the time and space. For this reason, Maharshi Kanada had categorized both of them as the aspects of the matter and included them in Dravyas. According to Prashishtapada, who had written commentary on the Vaisheshika Darshanam, a particle's creation, sustenance and destruction can only be expressed in terms of time. Vaisheshika Darshana had wonderfully proposed the interactions among the various particles of the matter. The same can be expressed as the combination and the interplay of the 3 factors, namely matter, quality, and action. 2 atomic or subatomic particles come together to form a particle called Dvi-anukam, 3 Tri-anukam, or a 4 Chaturanukam. Because of the heating of the atoms or exciting of the energy particles called Pilapakriya, the process of the creation is happening. Many scholars had commented Kanada's Vaisheshika Darshana. Among them, works of the Prashishtapada, Vyamosiva, and Chandramati are considered to be authoritative commentaries. These commentaries are attracting the modern nuclear scientists in many ways. Apart from the Kanada, Kapila through his Sankhya Shastra had described about 24 aspects of the universe and its components. Vedas, Upanishads, Brahma Sutra, Bhagavad Gita, and other classical texts of India considered this universe as one unit, pervaded by Paramatma, means cosmic soul. Indians perceive that whatever is in the microcosm is also in the macrocosm and are intimately connected. The modern string theory also reveals the same about the universal truth. Thank you.